Welcome back to another episode of Psychonaut Sessions, your home for all things Psycho, ULTRAVERSE Edition, and I'm here with my co-host Aaron Conaway. Hello, sir.
What is happening?
How you doing today?
Well, I'm ready to see how Prototype Issue 2 lands for me here.
We're finally circling back. I can't remember
the Mantra Forest that we were in.
Yeah, the Mantra Jungle.
Yeah,
and then Prime too.
Yeah, that's true. We've been in Prime for a while,
but that was refreshing. That was like a refreshing walk on the beach. So Prototype, I can't remember. Did you read Prototype before when we were kids?
I read the first couple. I don't remember. In rereading this, though, I don't remember. I didn't remember any of it. But partially, we'll get into what this holds, and that could be part of why I don't. But it was not it did not stick around long for me back in the day.
Well, I didn't read it at the time, and if you recall, in Prototype number 1, and reading it, I had no interest in reading it because I was like, man, it's an Iron Man knockoff, which it is.
Sure.
But there was something about the Ammerman's art that just I find charming as hell, and I love it. It reminds me of the way that I would have drawn literally the same year that this came out. Like it is. Like, and I don't mean that in a bad way. There is a lot of thick stuff to get through in this issue. That's like, okay, come on, writing wise, but the art still just stuck with me, and it had me hanging in the whole way.
Right. No, I mean, I get it. You didn't read it, so your nostalgia is not for it necessarily, but for like the way you used to draw. Yeah.
But very polished cover. Ammerman does really great on his covers, and I don't really have any complaints on the cover. I don't, I think it's fine.
It's fine, but it and it's not anything I noticed as a kid, but now that we're doing this reread, he's got a weird thing where he's always aiming things for Prototype's ass. Because in the first issue, it wasn't Prototype, it was the other dude with the prosthetic, but like the cat was in his ass, and now this thing is like
now this
for his ass, and I mean he's about to get taken out. There's no way he's not going to get hit.
Oh yeah, that's gonna hurt.
Yeah.
And so, there's spikes too. Ouch.
Yeah. Stupid joke, but I've noticed a pattern.
Nope. Yep. All right. Well, let's see if the pattern continues. Let's dive on in. All right. So we get another opening, just like issue 1 of Prototype in just a massive battle with generic robot things.
Yep.
Yay.
Yeah.
Welcome 1993. Just as again, with Ammerman's art on this, I had a really hard time kind of like figuring out what exactly was going on. Like his feet here, and there's like, which I don't hate, because there's something about Ammerman's art that I just love to explore to find out what the fuck is actually happening.
Yeah, that's definitely what I have to do. Like I can't just glance at it and move on. It's okay, so this one is shooting that one as he skims around the shot, and
exactly.
But yeah, it's like reading a dense book. It's not a quick take.
Yeah, it is, because I thought like they're in some kind of like danger room scenario at first, and then you turn the page and it's like no, we're in some kind of ice World of Hoth kind of scenario with so we got Lance Straczynski, Tom Mason as writers, we got David Ammerman, love you sir, James Pascoe as inker, Dave Lanfear as letterer, and Moose still on the color. I don't know, dude. I don't know if I believe whoever said that Moose is a real person. Who was it that said that in one of our comments of our videos?
I don't remember if it was...
Because
But Moose Bauman is a real comic book art. You could Google him.
Oh,
yeah,
because Moose knocked it out of the park.
Our buddy Dusty, who is essentially your fact checker.
Yeah.
Very good at it.
Yes, he is. He is our Psychonaut Sessions Ultraverse fact checker.
Yeah, shout out to Dusty Dean. But,
hell yeah!
I don't remember if it was Moose that he looked up, but I'm looking up Moose right now, and yeah,
Moose
he's a comic book artist. Yeah.
Huh. Well, he got around. I mean, he did a lot of books.
Yeah.
This is exactly. Do you remember there was a drawing of my character Maximal that I drew, kind of like this, where he's just kind of like he's
right
ballerina style, kind of
little midair pirouette.
Yeah. So we have no idea what's going on. It's basically just a rehash of the cover. I do kind of like that, though it doesn't seem to fit with the rest of the lettering. It seems like that's more of like a Trapper Keeper sort of.
Right.
I don't know. And more battle scenario stuff. He's getting basically an onslaught. Oh, right, almost right in his ass. And just trying to shoot around, and he begins overheating, and he actually catches on fire. And we realize he's in some kind of VR scenario where the corporation is kind of trying to test his limits and whatnot.
Yeah.
And man, you were talking about like wordy. This is a wordy comic. Holy shit.
And what's wild is this is an expo dump too, but it's not even that much of an expo dump. It's it's just him freaking out and then like hitting him with facts to trying to calm down. And this is not the dude that's gonna. I mean, they comment on it later. Like he's not. He may have genetically been predisposed to being able to handle all this, but mentally, it's not making the grade so far.
Right. And so it's this young guy, although he doesn't look young here. This is just a weird image. But he's supposed to be sweating and all upset. I can't even remember his name. This is how bad I am.
I don't either. And I don't remember old prototypes. I don't remember. Yeah, nothing is sticking.
Yeah, nothing. You're right. Nothing's really sticking. So basically this doctor guy is just talking him through it, and he's just like, I was picked for this and blah blah blah, and they kind of rehash just like what we kind of already knew from the last issue. And then he fought that light dude that like shot. He was like a giant brute who shot light. And
oh man, when we were making fun of it because he shouted what he did.
Yeah,
it was like, damn it.
Yeah, well, the lady says it later.
Flash or something like that. Not Flash. But anyway, yeah. My only nitpick though is like, yeah, they rehash it, but they don't. From where issue 1 ends, leading into this, I would have liked to have known how they got Prototype away from the angry mob who thought that he murdered somebody.
Yeah, and that's what they kind of refer to. And then, so that we're just here.
Yeah,
and
it's so like, there's the mob, but then but we got away.
And I think it's like basically like a PR nightmare happening right now. So they have him just kind of like, staying inside and getting tested and stuff. And he's, got a family apparently. They talk about it. We don't ever see his family that he's trying to help support. And then the doctor offers him to go get a massage, and he's like, that blonde with the big hands, yow. And I think that's the last we see of him this whole issue.
Well, and the doctor seems annoyed, so I don't know if the doctor was like trying to hit on him and let me massage you, because he seems annoyed that he wants the big blonde.
Yeah, I think a relaxing massage just never puts his hands on it. Oh yeah, I didn't even catch that, because they were trying to introduce a lot of like gay culture into these Ultraverse comics too.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't catch that. But isn't this weird? We're only like a few pages in, and then this is all we get of the main character.
That's kind of my main nitpick with this issue, but out of that, the series thus far is that I don't know who, not necessarily rooting for, but I don't know who I'm following here. I don't know if it's the guy with the prosthetic. It seems like he's the one that is eventually going to be essentially the Tony Stark in the Iron Man armor. But
I guess
we're getting a lot of time with this dude that they have just broken with these implants.
Right.
So I don't know. At this point, I have no idea what to expect.
Yeah. So at Ultratech headquarters, their corporate headquarters, we get this guy and this woman. Again, I remember their functions, but I don't remember their names. Yeah. Yeah. But she's
the one that actually killed the dude.
She killed the dude, and she's kind of like the big boss, or she's just got a lot of power, and this guy is the one that kind of comes up with the ideas. And they talk about that, this kid, that he actually like meets all the physical qualifications. Right. He's just like too immature. Blah 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 blah. I mean,
we summed up quickly what they spend 4 pages talking about.
Exactly.
Then,
Glare.
Yeah.
That's the dude's name.
Yeah, and he shouts it as he. So, but this is more shadow work that annoyed me. Like on the right page, the top left one, like her face being. And again, this could be a situation where they're trying to denote that she's the evil one behind everything, and that's fine if they didn't do it so often all the other places. And then the bottom right one, I don't know what the hell happened.
No, so
she's all scrunched.
I think 100% what happened here. I think the inker messed up.
Yeah.
And was like, fuck it, I'll just make it seem like it's shaded and whatnot. And that, I bet you 100% that's what that was.
Yeah, probably.
They do refer to that the previous prototype and this current prototype are just stages to get to the P2000.
Yeah, which he wants to have drop in the year
2000. That no reference to the T1000 at all in Terminator 2. Man, but like, look at that too. That's just.
Got like an Aztec bumblebee vibe.
I know. It's like, what? Why do you have ziggurat pyramid shoulders? What purpose could that solve? And then this one, man, so when I started rereading this, it was like pretty late, and I opened up to this page, and I started, and then I was like, I gotta fucking put this away and read this when I'm not tired. Because I could not tell. There's thought bubbles, and then there's word bubble conversations, and I could not tell at first where the word bubbles were coming from, and what was going on, who was who.
Yeah. I'm not with you. Typically, when you're like, I was so confused. I wasn't confused. This one, I was confused as hell.
Yeah.
I couldn't figure out if the dude that was hitting on this one was confusing. And there was a lot going on. And I mean, I can appreciate what they were trying to do by having us witness the conversation between her and the guy trying to hit on her, and then the dude that's like watching them. But it was just too busy and too convoluted on one page.
Yeah. So we got this guy watching who's here, and that's just awkward. Like, I don't know if that's his hair again. Yeah. That's weird, but he's watching. I don't think we have any idea who he is. I guess some sort of cop, undercover,
something, cop or agent or something.
The previous prototype is here in this conversation, and he's like trying to buy parts to build another prototype costume. But it's not really clear until you get further. You just keep reading. And then there's this lady at the bar who is going after that dude.
Right. Because the agent cop I'm assuming guy working for the corporation that owns Prototype is there for the dude with the prosthetic.
Yeah.
Right?
I think. Yes. Yes. I believe so.
Because after the scene during the debut of the new Prototype, when they threw him out, I figured he just got a tail now.
Yeah. So he gets approached, the dude with the prosthetic, by this woman at the bar. She looks freaky as weird.
Deranged.
Like,
yeah.
That's the kind of like face that you do not want to wake up in the middle of the night to like staring at you.
I don't care how hard up you are for female attention. Do not, viewers, do not go home with somebody that looks deranged like that.
Ugh. And so they go home together, and I had a hard time again with this because I think that this dude is a black guy.
Yeah.
And the way they colored him, I didn't think that was the prosthetic guy at first. I thought that was him, and she went home with, like, I was again a little confused, but she goes home with the original Prototype, the prosthetic guy. He just takes her, he has no idea who she is, brings her into his garage where he's building a prototype suit, and she scratches it, and she's able to cut through the metal. So you're like, oh, okay, something. I mean, you already kind of could tell something messed up was happening, but that is another indication. And they start getting it on.
Cat hates her, which should always be your indication that it's time to ask somebody to go home if your pet hates them. Cat
doesn't like. And then she starts, while they're getting it on, she grows long nails and slashes them. And then we get Lady Deathstrike Part 2.
Backstabber cracked me up.
Backstabber. Really? I mean, props to them. Like, that is about as 90s a name as you can get.
Yep.
Especially for a Lady Deathstrike knockoff. So she's like a powerful weapon. She's cutting up. So I didn't, like, at first I was like, I didn't understand who this guy even was really, because I was like, wait a minute, didn't the guy have like no hand? And I forgot he had a prosthetic. And so she's cutting it up. They're fighting in the kitchen. This is all okay. It's fun. I mean, the art is fun. I'm having a good time with it. It's kind of wonky looking. There's weird decisions like this. He rips off his prosthetic arm, and this is so lovely. I love this. She's coming in to attack him, and the fucking cat comes and he gets the jump on her. I love this image of the cat. It's just so... Sorry.
That's good stuff.
Oh, you can't write this shit. Actually, you can. And so he takes off into the garage to put his suit on. She's looking even more deranged. He makes some kind of reference to her face, actually like elongating or something. It was weird. Because he begins fighting her. Of course, he puts on the prototype suit, if you didn't see that coming. And they're fighting, and she can cut through his armor. And every time he's trying to hit her or damage her, he can't. And somewhere here, he talks about, like, her face is, like, rubbery almost. But he puts on, so he's got this, like, prosthetic thing. So that's going to be his shtick as a prototype, apparently.
Right.
And puts on a buzzsaw and cuts off her nails.
Which she only had in one hand. I thought, well, that's rough.
Yeah.
Like, couldn't have got it in both.
And then we get this guy's ex-wife, which I didn't really know of at first, and
nobody did. Yeah, I mean, it's not like she was talked about in the first issue,
right? And so And I guess we're supposed to know that that's him, but the faces.
Well, she says his name too. Isn't his name Bob?
I can't remember.
What's the first paragraph say?
She's talking to the guy on the phone. She's talking to the guy on the phone. His name is Bob. She's talking to a guy named Stanley.
Right.
So she's just she's like this guy Stanley is obviously like a boyfriend or trying to get involved with her, and she's like, I'm not ready, and things with Bob didn't go well, blah blah blah. And doorbell rings. She puts down the picture and she goes to open the door, and there he is. So
all kinds of mangled,
and like, I mean, what happened to the rest of the suit and everything?
He's probably not just walking around in it, but you think he would have at least tended to that gut wound. I'm assuming that's why he's seeing the doctor ex-wife, is to get tended to. But.
I guess, yeah. Menace of Teradyne will be next, so I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I thought it was fun all around. Again, it was confusing. I hope that they get a little bit more calm on the wordiness of things. It would be nice.
Once we've established some things.
Yeah. But yeah, so I thought, because I watched the Ultra Force cartoon before I ever even read Prototype, and I thought that this dude was the main prototype, but maybe he's not. Maybe he's just.
I have no idea. It's 6-1 picking at this point. Like,
well, I'm still in. I still like Ammerman's art. It's fun. It's kooky. It's fun to see what he's doing with it. So I'm still in. It was an all right issue.
It was better than. I mean, we did Hard Case 2 previously, and it was better than Hard Case.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Even the horror angle in this as a kid, and I may have done 3. Once we read 3, but like I said, I read this one. I don't remember Lady Deathstrike, so I don't know that I did keep going.
Backstabber. All right, well, we'll see what's coming up next. Thanks for hanging in there, Aaron. Yep. And thank you, everybody out there. Please like, subscribe, hit the bells for notification, and buy our stuff, blah, 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 shop. Capitalism, yay. Buy the things. Keep it
salesman,
psycho.
That's what we are.
Yeah, keep it psycho.